In the city, I moved here to go to medical school in 2000 and had the choice to leave for residency at the end of that. I really fell in love with this place, partly because of its history, right? The grappling with the history of being the capital of the Confederacy, the rawness of race and justice conversation in the city, and the hope I had for like where we could be as a city. That led me to stay here for residency, move into the East End, where over the last 20 years my family has lived as neighbors, as friends, as community, to an incredibly racially diverse family. And what I've seen in that 20 years has been the development of Churchill, which in many ways has been incredible and in many ways has been really painful, because I've watched my low-income neighbors get priced out of the neighborhood. I watched my low-income generational homeowners no longer be able to afford the property taxes. And in 20 years, the neighborhood looks really different. And I thought so much about the fact that if we had executed, property tax caps years before, or some of the great things the city has done in investing in affordable housing trust fund or the Maggie Walker Land Bank, if we'd done that a decade before, my neighborhood would look really different, and we would have the kind of beautiful tapestry of community that we moved there in the first place to find. So that's my heart for the rest of the city, because if we don't take some of these opportunities to be really intentional about investment, about policy, that is going to we were just named the #1 town in the country to visit, right? Like, that is going to continue to happen to our city if we don't take really intentional action to protect it. I love this city, and it's why, my family, we have 5 kids, and I left a really stable job to do this, but I love this city, and I think there's no better opportunity to chart the priorities for our city moving forward than this role of mayor.
I think there's no better opportunity for Richmond than to solve problems together. The 2 people who I look up to from learning community service, public service, what does it mean? I was a small part of the Obama administration and watched what leadership looked like on the national stage. I worked for Senator Kaine and see his values and his leadership. To me, that shows what everyone who wants to be a leader should do. They should be a listener, they should work with people, and they should support the individuals who need it most. I'm running for mayor because I truly believe that Richmond can be anything that we want it to be, provided we work together to solve the problems that are in front of us. And the good news is, these are solvable problems. We can have a city where we invest more money in affordable housing. We can have a city where we fully fund our school system. We can have a city where our neighborhoods are safer and kids don't have to walk to school with fear of gun violence. We can have a city where access to reproductive health is protected. And we can have a city hall that is run in a transparent and accountable way. I am very fortunate to have had a background in running large private sector businesses as well as in the nonprofit space. You can count on me as someone who knows how to run and manage a $3 billion budget and a 4,000 person organization, working with a group of folks who are going through their first collective bargaining agreement to support changing what we need in City Hall to deliver for our residents. I could not be more excited for the future of Richmond. I'm running because I genuinely believe that we can provide economic opportunity for everyone who lives here. And as someone who comes from outside of politics and has an approach of getting things done, I'm the right person to do that.
I'm running for mayor because I love our city. I love the people of Richmond. I'm excited about how far Richmond has grown, but I am equally as excited about how far Richmond can grow with us together. I'm a Richmond native. I am a real estate agent that have sold homes throughout the Richmond metropolitan area, and I've gotten such a kick out of selling homes to first-time home buyers. People that didn't think that it was an opportunity, but an opportunity was indeed afforded. I am running for mayor because I am the person that I believe that our young people need to see as we usher in this whole moment in time about career tech education and how you can decide to college not be your path, but you can still turn out to be something absolutely phenomenal. Well, I stopped by Virginia Union and I stopped by Norfolk State, but I have an equivalence that says I can make Richmond a phenomenal mayor. And I believe that's what our young people need to see. I believe that we need a mayor that can resonate law enforcement and community, because it can't be a them versus us. Businesses don't want to be in a place where they are not safe. Your customers don't want to come in a place where it's not safe. And so we need a mayor that can build a bridge so that law enforcement and community are working together. We need a mayor that understands that education is indeed important, not just understand it, but have been on a president of council and has brought an administration, council, and school board together, because that is the only way that we're going to get anything done, is by doing it together. I'm running for mayor because I had an opportunity to serve from 2012 to 2016, and in that time become the first black woman to be president of Richmond City Council, to have budget surpluses after being someone in life that has filed bankruptcy. I have been able to shift that thing around, change that experience, and been able to help others that have filed and those who thought they could file, shift their world so that they're moving forward and being self-sustaining. I have a nonprofit organization where I have 11 independent contractors, all who have had some type of justice involvement, but they are self-sustaining, moving their lives forward. A salon on Forest Hill Avenue with 23 years with a dozen employees who at the time of when COVID hit, they didn't know what they were going to do. But I was able to find information to help those who were in the cosmetology industry so that they could get some assistance. And so you need a mayor that not only is going to tell you what they can do, but what they have already done. I'm a proven leader in this city. I am a business owner that is effective and efficient. I have been the former president of council, and we have gotten great things done. The riverfront, bus rapid transit, we have moved this city forward. And so you need a mayor that is proven, that will work for each and every one of you, that you can look up here and you can identify and she can identify with you. I'm running for mayor, and September 20th starts voting. I need you to get out and vote and make sure that we have a mayor that can move Richmond for all of us. Thank you.
So our timekeeper is going to keep time, right? I want to make sure everybody gets just 2 minutes. That was the longest 2 minutes I've seen in a while. Mr. Nebula, 2 minutes. What can I do?
All right, look. You know, I'm 34 years old. I'm running for mayor not only to be example for the young people in our community, but also the community members that know, that are talented, that are smart. I want to display integrity. I want to display just waking up and doing the right thing, because that's just what is needed to be done. I'm running for mayor because it's a time for where the citizen's voice needs to speak louder than the pocketbook of the candidates who has money from $500 to $1 million. That matters nowhere. Not when you have individuals that are hungry. Not when you have individuals who are dying. I've seen it all. I'm from the city of Richmond. My mother passed when I was a child, and I vowed to myself that I was going to actually protect her when I get older, and I thought I was going to reach the age of 12. Unfortunately, she passed before that. I'm running because there are many women and families that are struggling. I had an unfortunate circumstance, but it was a fortunate circumstance that I've been awarded a state. I was able to obtain services from the state where I was moved outside of areas where I lived in Gilpin Court, Blackwell, Creighton, Mosby. I don't need to name the rest. But when I was moved out of there, I realized that what I heard on a day-to-day basis as warfare, gunfire on a day in and day out, individuals loitering, selling drugs, fights. I noticed that those were not normal. It wasn't normal. And when we visiting back in those communities, I seen individuals that I grew up with in the same predicament, and if not worse. So I moved to be a community organizer, to not work just population specific, to work for everyone. And that's why I wanted for mayor, to do the right thing. No matter how much money, y'all know what my buddy looks like for the campaign, but I'm self-funded. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. I made and beat so many statistics and odds that I'm here today. I'm running because of God. And that's what we need to put back into the city. I'm ready to be the next mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nathan.
It's hard to follow that, sorry. Thank you, Royce. So, honestly, I grew up in Shenandoah County. I was raised by my mom and stepdad, and they worked really hard, and they provided the best they could for me. I also grew up on free lunch. I was on SNAP, TANF, WIC. It was food stamps back then, and got Social Security checks from my handicapped father. And so my childhood was not poor, though. I grew up where I had resources that were around in my community. And so I'm here today because of what I think is the after-school programs. The hours are 3 to 6, because my stepdad got home from work at 6 o'clock and would pick me up on the way home. And so between the hours of 3 and 6, I was playing sports, I was in music, I was playing in plays, I was in musicals, I was doing things with other kids. We were playing together and learning together and being curious. And that's where I feel like I developed a lot of the characteristics of determination and perseverance and curiosity. I'm known as an idea guy. You'll find out later why more throughout the rest of this campaign. But when I went to college, it was because of my parents, the friends of my parents. My parents didn't go to college. They were encouraging of me to pursue it, but they weren't expecting me to go. And so when I went to college, I really explored and found myself. And I studied political science. And I moved to Richmond because I wanted to find a way to give back and serve. And I answered a call from then Mayor Wilder, Governor Wilder is what you always call him, but then Mayor Wilder. And he had a downtown master plan. He said, if you like this project and envision the future of our city in downtown, I have jobs for you to apply for. So I did. 7 months later, I got a call. Another problem in City Hall to fix. But 7 months later, I got a call, and that started my career in city government. And I worked my way from a routine entry-level management position into a nationally recognized government innovation leader. And a lot of my focus was understanding poverty and the generational poverty and the history of poverty in this city. And understanding the mistakes and the problems and the challenges we've seen and we can point to and look at today, still present in our community as we live today. And that's been the passion of what I did. That's why I worked really hard to create the Office of Community Wealth Building. I was on the mayor's Blue Ribbon Commission for Anti-Poverty and worked all the way through creating that budget and worked on changing the paradigm of understanding what can we do to intervene. But the challenge was a lot of the ideas that were generated haven't been fully implemented. And back then, our budget was half what it is today, and that's what I want to make sure we change as mayor tomorrow. We need to invest in all of our needs and priorities and continue to contribute all the things that uplift everyone in all parts of our neighborhoods. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's have a round of applause for all the candidates for this session. We have some time in our program, so if you have a question, what will be the order, Shelby? You raise your hand and then somebody will